Okay, that's important.
That's the recording started, convener.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to today's meeting of the Regulatory Functions Board. Do we have any apologies?
Yes, convener, we have apologies from Councillor Mullen, who is called away to another meeting but hoped to join us later in the meeting. And also Councillor Cathy McEwen has currently still trying to join the meeting. Other than that, no apologies.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any declarations of interest or transparency statements? I don't see any indicated. So we'll just move straight on with item 1, grant of late hour catering licence. And I think we have somebody appearing for this one. Are they in the lobby?
Yes, convener, we had 3 of them there, but one seems to have dropped off. I'll just try and get the legal advisor, Mr. Hazard, back on. He was on.
Okay, if you get him back on, I'll just show them all in. Donna, whilst
That's
you're
Mr. Hazard back with us now as well. Just for members' information, we also have Irene Scullion on the call today, who is a new LSO in Renfrewshire, just for your information. That's the 3 parties for the first item present now, if you're okay for me to admit them. You're on mute, convener, apologies.
Yes, so if you show them in, thanks.
Thank you.
I don't know how many, I mean, we don't deliver there, so it's how many of those collection customers are from Fraserburgh?
Good morning, Mr.
Yeah,
Bunton.
mate, look, I've got to go. I'm going on to this Paisley thing now. Okay, cheers, bye.
Good morning, Mr. Bunton, Miss Minns and Mr. Hazard. That's you admitted into the meeting. Can I just check you can hear us okay, please?
Loud and clear, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I can hear you as well. Thank you very much. Gordon Bunton here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I can hear you as well.
Good morning. I'm Councillor John McNaughton. I'm the convener to the board. I'm just going to pass over to Douglas Campbell, who's the legal advisor to the board, and Douglas will explain the procedure we'll be following. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Mr. Hazard, this is an application for a new late hours catering licence. Hours sought are out with policy. Because it's a new grant, we've therefore invited your clients to come along. And it's out with policy in the sense of the Sunday to Thursday evenings, because the policy is until midnight and you're looking for 1 AM. So it's really open to you to make your case as to why your client should be made an exception to that policy.
Okay, is Mr. Hazard going to be presenting?
Yes, it is indeed. Good morning again, convener and your honours. Just for the record, obviously I'm accompanied by Amanda Minns and Gordon Bunton from the applicant company. In terms of preliminaries, as Mr. Campbell said, this is a new late hours catering licence application for Domino's at 41 Gall Street in Paisley. Your honours are no doubt familiar with the location. Domino's has been there for a considerable period of time. And you may be curious as to why this is a late hours catering licence application afresh and new. Because it has previously benefited from a late hours catering licence. And obviously it calls before you today due to an administrative error. The wrong expiry date was noted down and the renewal date was missed. And yes, technically the Sunday to Thursday hours are out with policy as it seeks the 1 AM, as Mr. Campbell has said. I suppose the first point I would make is that the committee can, of course, look to make exceptions to their policy, and there are plenty of examples within Paisley and the surrounds where your honours have done just that. In this case, Domino's and those instructing me advise that the hours applied for were previously enjoyed at the premises, and they are completely unaware of any issues being caused. And I think it is significant to point out that the current application has attracted no objections, none from neighbours, none from anyone in public, and none from any of the statutory authorities. In an ideal world, the renewal would have been made timely and this case would not have had the call, but ultimately we're here today because of that missed renewal. A couple of key points. I think it goes without saying that Domino's are a trade with really high levels of compliance and due diligence. They have bespoke training in place for all of their sites, high levels of management supervision, and generally speaking, I think it's fair to say they trade across Scotland and indeed the wider UK and Ireland without causing significant issues or concerns. It is an operation, particularly midweek, which is popular with shift workers, taxi drivers, blue light services, people who are working in factories, etc. And I would point out to your honours that, of course, their daily routine when they have their lunch and dinner is different to when you and I do, perhaps if we're in a more sort of regular Monday to Friday 9 to 5. And that's very much, especially the midweek, the types of people that the demographic they're seeking to cater for. In closing, I think two points bear mentioning. We are really here because of the missed renewal. And then a second point is a note of thanks from my client. Ultimately, when the renewal, the missed renewal was noted, they engaged with your honours licensing service, who were really helpful. They applied for, prior to today, a temporary licence, which got them back up in trading, and your honours licensing team processed that really quickly, and my clients are very grateful for that, as it was a considerable commercial impact and could have had impact on staff hours and shifts, etc. So just in closing, I wanted to mention that. Happy to take any questions about the specifics, but as I say, all statutory requirements have been complied with, site notice displayed, and there are absolutely no objections or adverse comments, and I would hope the committee could see fit to reinstate the licence as was previously enjoyed, and allow that slight exception to policy for the midweek as discussed. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hazard. Are there any questions from members? Douglas, can I just ask Douglas Campbell for confirmation that what we're being asked for here are the hours the same as has previously been approved?
You're on mute,
Yeah.
Douglas.
So, convener, I think that was the case based on perusal of the papers. So I'm only back in the office the last couple of days. I'll just ask the team to confirm that to me. I think that's correct, though.
If the team can just confirm that. I know the location well. Whilst we do protect the town centre because of the number of flats that are creating there, this is a particular location that doesn't have the same impact. So I personally don't see any particular issues with this one. If there are no further questions, I'm going to give Mr. Hazard just an opportunity to sum up if there's anything further you'd like to add. Mr. Hazard?
Thank you, convener. No, I think I'll rest my submission with the original. So thank you for your time, and again, obliged on behalf of my client for the assistance provided in relation to the temporary licence.
Okay, thank you. Well, in that case, then I would move that we grant the late hours catering licence in this case. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Yes, Mr. Hazard, Mr. Bunton, Ms. Minns, just to confirm that the application's been granted. We'll get the licence out as soon as we can.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Obliged. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
You can leave the meeting now. Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Thank
care.
you. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, that takes us straight on to item 2, which is on on-site. Douglas, do you want to cover 2A and 2B?
Certainly, convener. 2A is a renewal of what Morrison's already have. So it's essentially hours 11 to 5 AM. So beyond midnight Sunday to Thursday and after 2 o'clock on Friday and Saturday evenings. That's out with policy. But it's a renewal and there's no adverse comments on the application. And they've had the hours since January 2016.
Yes, okay. I don't see any questions on this. It's pretty straightforward. I would move that we grant 2A. Are members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. And 2B, which is again,
Very-
Morrison's and Johnston. Douglas?
Very similar, convener. They've had the hours also for the same period, January 2016. It's a renewal and it's similar hours.
Okay, I don't see any questions. Again, I would move that we grant. Members agreed.
Agreed.
Okay, moving straight on to item 3A. Skip the papers.
Mr. Malloy has been cited, convener, but I've not had any confirmation or acceptance of the invite as to whether he is attending or not this morning. Julie is just going to email him again now to try and get him on the call.
Okay, thank you. So item 3A is Mr. Paul Malloy, and just from reading papers, it appears he has issues getting access. I think we'll continue to try and get Mr. Malloy online, but in the meantime, I think we could move to try item 3B. Which is Mrs. Elaine Moynihan. I think that one was cited for about 10:35. Could we try and then get Miss Moynihan into the meeting?
Yes, convener, we have emailed Miss Moynihan as well.
Okay, Douglas,
Just
do you have
to
an
try and get
update
her
on this one?
Well, I do, convener, in the sense that there's a suggestion that the property is repossessed and the person's no longer acting as a landlord, but they haven't confirmed that they were withdrawing their application. So, to say it would be preferable if we can get Miss Moynihan, if possible, to confirm her position. Sorry,
Okay.
not Miss Moynihan. Sorry.
Okay, we'll try and get both of those applicants into the meeting. We'll give that a few minutes. And whilst we're waiting on those two and item 3, I think just to make best use of our time here, item 4 is a non-site. We could perhaps just jump to that and deal with item 4. Douglas? Could we deal with item 4, which is...
Thank you, convener. Yes, this is a non-cited item. Send and reissue application where the terms of the practice regarding the year's licenses have been held for has been complied with.
Okay, are there any questions for Douglas on this one? Seems pretty straightforward to me. I would move that we grant the surrender and reissue. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you.
it assists convener, I think the next non-site item is 7B.
Thank you, Douglas. That's on page 127 of your pack. If we just jump to 7B, page 127. Douglas, could you take us through this one?
Certainly, convener. Yeah, this is an application for variation of a private hire car operator's license. Similar to a number of applications you've had in the past, the person's looking to change their vehicle from 7 passengers to 8 passengers, which is out with policy, but it's within terms of legislation.
Okay, thank you, Douglas. Are there any questions on this one? Again, pretty straightforward. And I would move, I don't see any questions. I'd move that we grant the variation in this case. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. I think that covers most of our stuff we can deal with this morning that's non-site. So we'll just take a brief pause. Do we have any progress in contacting the 2 landlords?
No contact from either of them yet. Apologies, convener.
Okay. If we could continue just to try with those to try and get the landlords in. I take it, Douglas, we'll give them a bit time yet, but we'll come back to them and then take a decision about what we do with them. So that then takes us, we've dealt with item 4. We'll come back to item 3A and 3B. Item 5 is grant of private hire operator's license. Mr. Campbell, could we try and get Mr. Campbell in, please?
Yes, convener. He was on the call earlier, but we did advise him to rejoin at 10:55. But we'll just see if he can come back on now. Bear with us.
Thank you. Okay, whilst we're still trying to contact those people, could Douglas, I'm going to suggest that we bring forward the last item on the agenda, which is your report. We bring it forward and consider it at this stage. The registration of private landlords report on the applications that have been refused. Douglas, would you like to introduce your report at this stage? We'll consider that.
Thank you, convener. Yeah, yes, certainly happy to do so. In terms of the report, I don't really want to say too much. I think members have seen similar reports in the past and are used to the general format. Members will recall the change to the information regulations a number of years ago, and we sought a delegated power to refuse certain applications where not all information was provided in terms of declarations. So the report really just confirms that since the last report went up, which was a couple of years ago, there were no refusals last year. A further 8 landlords have been refused on the basis we're not been able to get them to confirm their compliance after writing them a couple of times. And other than that, I'm just asking the board to note the report, and I don't have anything further to add. But of course, happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Douglas. It's good to note that the officers are doing their job and applying the legislation. Are there any questions for Douglas on this? Okay, can we just agree to note that report?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Convener, I've been advised that we have now received communication from Mr. Malloy. He is trying to join the meeting as we speak.
Okay, thank you, Donna.
Convener, I don't know the name of the person who has joined and is waiting in the lobby. I'm just going to bring them into the meeting just to check who they are. It may well be Mr. Malloy joined on someone else's device. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Thank
carry
you.
on.
Hi, good morning. You've been admitted into the meeting. Can I ask you to advise your name, please?
Hello.
Hello. Can you give me your name, please?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us okay?
I can hear now. Aye.
Can you give me your name, please?
Paul Malloy.
Thank you, Mr Malloy. That's you admitted into the meeting. I'll pass you over to the convener.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr Malloy. It's Councillor John McNaughton here. I'm the convener to the board, and I'm just going to pass over to Douglas Campbell, who's the legal advisor to the board, and Douglas will explain the procedure we'll be following. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Yes, Mr Malloy, good morning. I'm Douglas Campbell, legal advisor to the board this morning, and you've been invited to come today not because there's been any adverse comment to your application for landlord registration, but in relation to the declarations that you've made on your application form. So on your application form, you indicated there were certain matters that you were not currently compliant with. That was when you applied, I think, last year. And in particular, you've indicated the carbon monoxide detection question you said no to. The energy performance certificate question you said no to, and the Legionella risk assessment question you said no to. So in terms of that, Mr Malloy, would obviously written to you as we do, because as officers we have a power to refuse, because that is a requirement of an application. A declaration of compliance is made nowadays. So would written to you, and I think the members have before them correspondence as set out in your citation letter, in response to which you've indicated there were issues getting access to the property. So this is your opportunity to explain to the members whether or not, sorry, just a moment, Mr Malloy, just to explain to the members whether you're compliant and what the current position is.
Can I just tell you what the problem with that was, Douglas? It's confusion on my part because of a flat. I've basically got mixed up, right? I've just seen I've a flat in Barhead that I rent out, which I can't get access to. The tenant isn't paying his rent, and I've just not been able to get access for, I don't know, about a year and a half, something like that. More, 2 years. Anyway, that I've just basically got mixed up. I've got access, no problem, to Greenwood Road, and good tenants and everything. So it's just when I've seen Renfrewshire, as I've thought East Renfrewshire as in the Barhead thing, and it's just like it's a cock up in my part, basically, you know.
Then can I then clarify a couple of things, Mr Malloy? So in terms of, now I appreciate and this to clarify for members as well, the declaration that you make in relation to your compliance as in your personal details of your application form, which is obviously the landlord registration system is a national one. In terms of your property in Renfrewshire, then are you? No, I'm asking the one in Renfrewshire because that's our authority. So the one in Greenock Road. So in relation to your property in Renfrewshire, are you now compliant with the carbon monoxide detection requirements for it?
No, but we will do it. I'll action that immediately.
So the one in Greenock Road, is that not up to date then for that?
Don't think it is it? No, I don't think it is. But as I say, we'll action that immediately.
And as far as the energy performance certificate is concerned, is that up to date?
Again, I'll check that immediately and action it.
And the Legionella risk assessment, are you satisfied that you're compliant with that?
I would say so, yeah.
Convener, I don't know if that's helpful. It might be questions from board members, but...
Yeah, I'll just open it to questions. Are there any questions for Mr Malloy? I don't see any. Sorry, Councillor Hughes.
Thanks, convener. It was just a question that probably you would ask anyway, Mr. Malloy. It's just around how quickly you can become compliant with those things, because you obviously, you said you have good tenants in the building anyway, in the flat anyway. It's important to us that you're compliant with everything you need to be. So I'm wondering what time frame you can do that in.
By the end of the week.
Okay, thank you.
Aye, no problem. As I say, it's just, again, it's because of I've got this problem tenant, so to speak, in Barhead, which obviously has nothing to do with yourselves, but it's East Ren, and I've just got mixed up, you know, when I've seen it, and because I can't get access at all, so God knows what's going on in there, and well, I've served notice for him to leave, but you know how that's a process, and it's
Yeah,
that takes.
Mr. Malloy, if we can just concentrate on the property within Renfrewshire, and you're giving us some reassurance on that. I just stress, in particular, the carbon monoxide one is quite critical. Could I ask Douglas Campbell just for some advice to the board? And Douglas, can we continue this one? Do we have time to continue this one?
Yeah, I think it's difficult. Yeah, there's not a problem with the time, convener. I think it's difficult to grant at the moment because obviously the regulations do say that, you know, that an application should contain these declarations, and it doesn't. And Mr. Malloy, in fairness to him, has fronted up today and said that, you know, there's certain matters he's still not compliant with. So it might be members want to consider continuing the matter.
Yes, I think that would probably be the most appropriate course of action, given Mr. Malloy has given us some reassurance and it will be actioned in the very near future. Are there any final questions from members? I don't see any. Mr. Malloy, is there anything you want to add?
No, it's just as I say, just to add that I've gas engineers and sparks and people like that I work with, and I'll get straight onto it. Then it'll be before the end of the week. If that
sounds reassuring, Mr. Malloy. And so in that event, could I recommend that, or I would move that we continue this item to give Mr. Malloy a chance to urgently action those. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Mr. Malloy, the first possible board we're likely to be bringing you back to would be the one at the end of October, 29th of October. I'm not saying it will be that date, but it's too tight to bring you back to the one in the 4th of September. So to give you an idea that, you know, obviously if we're bringing you back, if of course you're able to confirm that all the work has been done, then I don't think there would be anything to stop us if the application was then valid and Mr. Malloy was able to confirm compliance with the 3 outstanding matters, then it might not have to come back to members.
Okay.
Yes, I would hope that would be the case, Douglas. Okay, well, if that's then agreed, Mr. Malloy, you can leave the meeting now.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
I just pressed the hang up thing, yeah?
Yes. Okay, that was item 3A. Have we made any progress with item 3?
Not had any response from Miss Moynihan yet. We do now have Mr. Campbell available for item 5.
Okay,
well, in
terms of item 3B, I think we'll deal with this one at this stage. Douglas, you indicated you had some update that that perhaps Mr. Moynihan wasn't.
The only caveat I'll say to that, convener, is that we cited for 1035, which we're now very close to.
Okay.
And I appreciate what we did say in the citation that, you know, if the council might get in touch on the date, ask them to join earlier, but I'm just conscious that it was 1035 was said.
Thank you for reminding me on that, Douglas. We will, in that case, jump to. We'll come back to this item 3B just to be doubly sure, and then we can proceed with item 5. We've dealt with item 4, so we're on to item 5, and Mr. Campbell is in the lobby. Could we have Mr. Campbell in, please?
Yes, convener, I'll admit Mr. Campbell now. Good morning, Mr. Campbell. That's you admitted into the meeting. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Thank you very much. I'll pass you over to Councillor McNaughton, the convener.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Campbell. It's Councillor John McNaughton here. I'm the convener, and I'm just going to pass over to Douglas Campbell, who's a legal advisor to the board, and Douglas will explain the procedure that we'll be following. Douglas?
No problem.
Thanks, convener. In relation to your application, Mr. Campbell, there's been no objections or adverse comments to it, but we've invited you to come along because the vehicle you've applied for, which I think is a wheelchair accessible vehicle, is more than 8 years old. at the time you made your application, the vehicle was less than 8 years old, but it was clearly close to that age, which means that by the time the application is ready for consideration, it's not meeting the terms of the policy. So you've got the opportunity to explain to the board members, that's Councillor McNaughton spoke a moment ago, and the other councillors who are on the call, why your application should be granted as an exception to policy, and why you should be considered an exceptional case to that end. So I don't know if there's any preliminary matters you want to raise at this stage before the convener invites you to speak, Mr. Campbell, or whether you're quite happy there's no preliminary matters to be raised.
No.
Convener?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Campbell, this is your opportunity just to speak to the board members in support of your application.
Yeah. So, as you already alluded to, that the application was done before the got to the 8 years old section of that vehicle. That vehicle had already been as a taxi like 2 weeks before. So like I'd then applied for my own plate. It was a lease plate that we were currently using on that, but it was someone else's and they took it back. So what we done was we then applied for our own plate to put onto that vehicle. Obviously, by the time that it was then looked at, it went over the 8 years. I think it was possibly 2 or 3 weeks, possibly 2 weeks out of date by the time it had actually been looked at. As you maybe already know, there's a big shortage of wheelchair accessible vehicles in Renfrewshire. So I know that it was out of date in terms of that, but as I say, it was running as a taxi before, and there's a shortage. We currently work for Renfrewshire Cabs just now, and as I say, it's like if you are in contact with any of them at all, then you'll know that there is a shortage of vehicles in the area.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Campbell. Are there any questions for Mr. Campbell? I think this is an unusual one. It's just out with policy by just a few weeks because of the timing on it. I think, and whilst I'm not minded to change our policy, I think in this case, given it's a wheelchair accessible vehicle, that we could make an exception on this case. Are there any other questions from members? Mr. Campbell, is there anything you want to say in terms of summing up before we take a decision?
No, I think it says my piece. Thank you.
Thanks. I think as an exceptional case in the circumstances, I would move that we grant the private hire car operator's licence in this case. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Douglas?
Just to confirm, Mr. Campbell, that the application will be agreed and we'll get your new licence out as soon as we can, and that concludes your hearing today.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Campbell. You can leave the meeting now.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay, that deals with item 5. Item 6 isn't scheduled for, but could we try and get Mr. Hashimi in earlier than the schedule? And
Yes, will do, convener.
okay, so I think at this stage we have now gone past the citation time for item 3B, so I think we'll return to item 3B and deal with that item. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. If I can just update members. So essentially item 3B is an application of landlord registration. There were a number of matters where compliance wasn't confirmed in relation to this landlord. You'll obviously see the correspondence that's within your pack. In addition to that correspondence, so we did get some recent correspondence. It wasn't clear that that was been asked to be put before the board. We actually thought it might be an intention to withdraw the application, but that wasn't clear either, so we asked that to be clarified, and it hasn't been yet. But I think, in fairness, convener, just allow me a moment to put my hands on the email, which I'm trying to find between my screens at the moment, convener. Okay, so just allow me a moment. So basically, on the 12th of August, in response to the citation letter, the landlord gave us an explanation that she'd applied some time ago for eviction when she was able to do so. And she had to renew her landlord registration because she's still the tenant. There were issues with locks being changed, and the landlord not able to get access, and consent was refused. So I think the landlord was trying to get help to get the locks checked, which she said wasn't to remove the tenant, but was to get access to the property. And in the meantime, she was speaking to the police and it not managed to get matters finalised with tribunal. But I don't think she managed to get the eviction order through with what it says. But what's been indicated is the tenant hadn't been paying rent, and essentially the lender had stepped in and repossessed. And what Miss Moynihan has said is she is no longer acting as landlord for the property and wishes to end any application and further correspondence taken up with Halifax. So that's a position. So I mean, at the moment, you'll see the terms of the application form before you, and the matters that are outstanding in terms of the declarations. That would be at, let me see, page 55. That 6. So page 59. So there's basically the application form that was originally made stated everything was not applicable apart from their appearance tolerable standard, and the tenancy deposit was no. So essentially we had written the items that clearly didn't look to be correct, we'd asked clarification on, and obviously you've seen the correspondence before you, including a detailed email from Ms Moynihan on page 72 of your packs, and I've indicated the update verbally which came into us as officers last week. Unless there's anything else I can assist with, convener, I don't propose to say any more at this time.
Okay, I don't see any questions on this one now. Douglas, it appears that Ms Moynihan is no longer landlord for this property. Can you help us in terms of keeping it tidy? What's the just for the formal record, what's the tidiest way to deal with this one? Do we treat it, continue it to get confirmation that she has no longer processing the application, or do we just refuse it? You're on mute, Douglas.
Your option is to do a grant, refuse, or continue, convener, because it's an application. So, I mean, I think in terms of we sent our, I'm just trying to see the date of the, I think it was the 12th of August last week, looking through that we'd asked for clarification as to whether the application was withdrawn. So I don't know if we'll get that or not. But at the present time, as I say, I'm not sure what members make of the correspondence, unless you think that the correspondence that's before you is enough to confirm that Ms Moynihan is compliant with the obligations. But I mean, she seems to say in some respects she isn't because of the tenants, and she hasn't turned up today. You may take the view that the application didn't meet the requirements and therefore can't be granted, and the only option is to refuse it. As indeed we would have done as officers had it not been for the extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, that's my inclination. It is clearly we're not in a position to grant it, given she hasn't complied, and but she is indicating that she's perhaps no longer the landlord there. It doesn't. My reading of it is that she might not confirm that, even if we continued it. So I think for tidiness and simplicity, we should just refuse the application at this stage. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Okay, Douglas.
Thanks, convener.
Okay, let's try and catch up. Mr. Hashimi, did we manage to get Mr. Hashimi on the phone?
We have contacted Mr. Hashimi, convener, but no responses yet.
Okay, Donna, can you just keep me right? Is that all the items then that for this morning's or for the open session before we go into private session?
We still have 7A, Mr. Sutherland, unless I've missed that.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right, Mr. Sutherland. Can we try and get Mr.
We can
Sutherland then?
try and get Mr. Sutherland on, yeah, no problem. Rena, we've still not been able to make contact with either applicant 6 or 7A yet.
Okay, well, at this stage, I think we're going to take a break, take a recess, and if we have half an hour recess and reconvene at 11:25, which is when Mr. Hashimi has been cited for. Then we can deal with him, and then Mr. Sutherland, and that should conclude the open session. Then we'll move on to private session. So at this stage, we would take a recess, and I'll see you back here at 11:25.
Thanks, convener.
Thank you.